It's all over Facebook today. I've been reading a few different posts, lots of different comments. People are breaking their HST fans. And I left a comment on somebody's post, and I wasn't the only one. So we're going to go underneath. We got plenty of light here. I got my through night flashlights ready to go, and we're going to get underneath the tractor. We're going to see if that HST fan is still intact. Are you getting excited for this? Let's go find out. All right, we're about to go underneath the tractor here. Let me turn this off so I can talk for a second. Now listen, these BX tractors have a terrible tendency. I think it's a design flaw. I do. I think this could be improved upon. But the plastic, yes, a plastic HST fan has been used on these BX tractors, I think, since day one. And they have a terrible tendency to break. A stick gets up there and jammed up where the fan's at, which is pretty easy for a stick to do. Boom, all the fan blades, they just shear right off, and then you got to get it fixed, right? Or do you? I don't know. We're going to talk about that, though, too. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go underneath this tractor. I'm going to show you my HST fan. If it's still there, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I checked. So we're going to go underneath. We got plenty of flashlights. We're going to, woohoo! We're going to go underneath here. We're going to check things out. Let's go. Okay, come on. We're getting there. Goodness. Here we go. I can get a good look at my HST fan. The HST fan under my tractor is in great shape. Okay? And that the boot, the rubber boot there that goes around it is also in great shape. I've got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. The fan is intact. But you see how easily a stick could get jammed up in there? Because there's this pathetic tiny little skid plate. That's all this is. It's just a tiny little skid plate that doesn't even come out very far. And then, then there's that real stupid fuel filter right there. That's a terrible design fuel filter, if you ask me. And then there's a fuel pump right here. But that skid plate is definitely not enough to protect that HST fan. Okay, and they shouldn't really call it a skid plate. It's more like a protection plate or body armor, I guess. I don't know, but it's definitely not something you're skidding on. So anyway, HST fan, it's in good shape. Nothing to worry about, okay? Let's talk a little bit more about that because the HST fan is the topic of today's video. So one of the biggest reasons that my HST fan is still intact is because of this. This is some Under Armour. It's body armor for your BX tractor made by BXpanded. BXpanded has a website. They've got a lot of great products on there. This is about $170, and I think it's worth it. It is pretty heavy gauge steel. I think that's at least 10 gauge steel, and it's got some nice vents underneath so mud and stuff doesn't get caught up in there. Enough places for things to drain out of, and I've never had a problem with anything collecting underneath of that. And it's just a well thought out idea to fit under your tractor to protect everything, especially that fan. Not just to mention you're not just a fan, but there's some electrical wires, there's a fuel line, so it prevents those sticks from getting anything. Now, what's really kind of unique about this is that this little tab here and here, they actually hook up to where your mower deck would hook up to. So the pin just pops right into that, pops right into there, and it just goes into place just like that. And then at the front, this part just sits on top of a bolt with a little bit of like an expansion bolt. A spacer, has a spacer. There we go. That's what I'm trying to think of. And it just sits up there nice and snug, nice and tight. It doesn't rattle around, and it's just perfect. So BXpanded did a good job thinking this out. In fact, I don't know anybody from BXpanded, but if you guys would like me to feature any of your products, I would love to do that. So BXpanded, get a hold of me. There's some contact information in the description of this video. I would love to promote your products more so than just this Under Armour. So Guys, I'm going to show you how this hooks up because I think it's kind of a unique system and it's worth it. So stick around. Okay, the first thing that I need to do is I need to take this PTO shaft off for my snowblower because otherwise the skid plate will not fit. There we go. No trouble at all doing that. Okay, and if I don't remember to put that back on, it's going to snow again, so hopefully I don't forget. Now, I'm going to get over here, grab this skid plate, and normally I have my linkage for my mower deck in the down position. This stuff, right? In the down position. But right now, I have it all the way up. And I could lower it and make this a little bit easier on myself, but I don't need to. I can still get this skid plate up here without a problem. So what I'm doing is I'm lining it up with some tabs. There's one over here, and there's one on my side, and there's one on your side, guys. And I got the front part of the body armor on top of those little tabs, right? And now I'm going to push this part up and just kind of give it a good whack there, and it goes in place. Then I can move these mower deck pins, and I wonder if I can do that from this side. I bet I can. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I think I got it. Hard for me to tell. Yeah, it feels like I got it. Okay. Now it's in place. That's all there is to it. The Under Armour is in place. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Now, there is an Under Armour option for those of you that want to be able to use a PTO shaft and have this under. Well, in the wintertime, I don't need this. I'm not going over sticks and stuff in the winter, so I don't need it to do that for me. Let's see if I can do this one-handed now this way. There we go. From what I've heard, the company that makes that other skid plate, it takes a lot longer to put on and off. Now I'm able to take this one on and off just while talking to you, and I can't even see the other side very well. And there you go. I just took that on and off. That simple. It's just really easy. It's very user-friendly. So I'm going to get you a little bit more footage of what I mean by where these front tabs hook onto, because it's really a smart, well thought out system. So the tabs I was talking about, and not really tabs, they're like a spacer, right? A bolt with a little spacer. That's all this is. Okay, that's where this front end of the skid plate, it just goes right on top of this thing. It's just that easy. And then you have your linkage for your mower deck, which is just a simple pin. Every BX tractor has this linkage. It just goes into place like that and holds that Under Armour in place with this little tab right here. Pretty simple. So BX Banded has some really good products. They have a ripper tooth for a backhoe. They have the Piranha tooth bar, and they have the skid plate, and they have some other things for other tractors that I don't even know about. But again, BX Banded people, get a hold of me. I'd be happy to feature some of your stuff on my channel. That would be great for me, and hopefully it'd be good business for you guys too. At the beginning of this video, I raised the question, do you even need to replace your HST fan if it's broken? Well, let me read some of the comments that were left on Facebook, and you guys be the judge for yourselves. So the whole reason that I even put this video together was because of a guy named Eric. And Eric says, well, it's surprised it lasted this long. 450 hours was a good run. Rest in peace, transmission fan. Okay, so he made it 450 hours, and then his fan broke. And it looks like his CV boot, that little rubber boot that goes around there, is all tore up too. So he's really going to want to address that because his boot is all torn. And, you know, then there's going to be water and sand and stuff that's going to get into those bearings. And he's going to have more problems down the road. So he's going to want to get that fixed. However, I don't think you need one. I don't think you need to get your fan replaced if you break it. Because there are a lot of people in here that are saying that they've ran theirs for years, and without any issue. In fact, my comment to Eric was, I bet you could run it without ever fixing it and be just fine. I'm sure you wouldn't be the only one. And I put that comment before reading anybody else's because I know from experience, I've read many different Facebook posts, mainly Facebook posts about people breaking their fan, and other people like, don't worry about it. It's going to be just fine. And there are people in here, like Matthew says his 2200 hasn't had one for many years. He's never had any issues. There's other people in here that have said the same thing. There's a lot of comments now, so it's taking me a while to scroll through them. Yeah, another guy that says the B expanded Under Armour is a good deal. Here's Derek says, back in the first year with his BX 2200, they broke every blade off the HST fan on a rock pile, ran it for 3 years like that, and never had an issue. So, and they did a lot of mowing and dragging. So here's Chris. He says, when I bought my tractor, I had 100 hours on it. The fan was already gone. Got 350 hours now. Never had an issue. Never replaced the fan. Here's another guy. B expanded Under Armour skid plate. It's a good deal. It's a nice system they have. Dan says he took his out with a branch 3 years ago and a lot of hours ago. Phoned Kubota and was told in cooler climates you can get away without it. Okay, so even a mechanic at a Kubota dealership, I'm assuming, says that in cooler climates, don't worry too much about it. So yeah, how complicated is it to replace? I've heard it's pretty complicated. Yeah, here's another guy, Jay, says his has been gone for 2 years. Fluid still looks great. So there's a lot of people that have broke off their HST fans and don't have any issues. And I'm guessing there's even more people out there that don't know they broke off their HST fans and they don't have any issues. If you really want it to replace it, go ahead and replace it. You go ahead and do that, but it's going to cost you a little bit of money to do. But if you've got the mechanical ability to do it and the time, go ahead and do it. Whatever. If mine broke off, I probably wouldn't replace it right away. I don't know if I ever would. So, but the B expanded skid plate or the body armor helps a lot too. That's a little insurance plan, right? $170, is that what I said? Pretty easy. Yeah, I'd get one of those if I were you guys. Really, it's kind of important. But my tractor's been running just fine. I've got all my HST fan blades in place. Haven't had any issues. So knock on wood, hopefully that's not a problem, right? Found a piece of cedar. Okay? Now it won't happen. Now I'll be in good shape. All right, I've got to get that PTO shaft back on my snowblower so it doesn't snow again. You know how it is. And then hopefully you guys stay tuned for the next video. And if you want a chance to win my Keep On Tractor and decal, leave a comment down below and then we'll do a random draw in an upcoming video. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it quite a bit, in fact. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. Keep on tractoring, and God bless.